What is the most inexcusable excuse for treason? I noticed that instead of saving money, we were spending about $6,000 a month from our savings. We had a specific goal, to buy a house, and when I decided to take a look at our budget, I found that my ex-wife had spent over $6,000 a month. She was upset and said she had the right to do whatever she wanted because it was her money. She spent money on random purchases of URLs in the hope that they would lead to a successful business that she could sell. The bottom line is that she used our savings for her own purposes, instead of saving money to buy a house. And every time I came home, she was cold and distant, so I realized that she was still wasting all her money. When I told her about it, she confessed that she had cheated on me. She said she fell out of love with me when I started criticizing her for using our savings. And then she started traveling even more to reunite with her ex-boyfriend, whom she broke up with about 10 years ago when he became addicted to drugs. When they met again, he was already clean and she left me for him. So the reasons for the betrayal were found, and I shouldn't have been upset about it. I love my dog and I want to spend time with him every day, but when I see another dog, I also feel like petting him. This does not mean that I do not love my dog, it's just that I can feel warmth and care towards other animals. But as soon as I said those words, she seriously asked if I had compared her dog to herself. It was just a pagan ritual, we never thought it would be discussed as treason. Our relationship didn't last long. I thought I was done with this crazy girl and wanted to get married and have kids, but that would never happen to her. A few months later, I met my current wife, and we now have 2 children. I regret that my first high school girlfriend cheated on me. Our 6-month relationship was so short. The second girl suggested that I sort myself out and look at myself from the outside. At that time, I had just dropped out of high school, and it was very popular, while I was just an inconspicuous but talented basketball player. The third girl cheated on me when I was in the best physical shape at a friend's funeral, which took place several hundred miles from our house. She caught my hand and called me. I never heard that she had to share this information with me, so I blocked her number and deleted all voice messages. It was especially painful because her father was a close friend of my father. The fourth girl cheated on me 2 years later, and it was probably the result of a mental disorder. When I caught her cheating, she didn't say anything, just left. And a couple of days later, she parroted me and said that it happened in 1 year. The fifth girl I dated turned out to be my double. She was dating a man who worked in another state and only saw him on weekends. She never told me about her second relationship because I blocked her on all social platforms and voice messages. She continued to communicate with him until I found out the truth. Of course, I thought I'd found the one perfect girl when we were getting ready to buy a house and get engaged, but she saved me a lot of money over the course of 3 years, so every girl I dated cheated on me. The last girl I dated was the most terrible. We'd been dating for about 5 years, and even though I was lonely, I'd rather be cheated on again than stay with her. She cheated on me once and said she did it because I ignored her at work and she needed more attention. It took me apart because I worked very hard to provide her with the desired lifestyle. I knew I could have paid more attention to her, but after a long day at work, I was just tired. When I told her that I planned to stay at home for the weekend to make the most of the weekend, she asked what she would do. I advised her to have fun with her best friend, who was our neighbor, since she had long admitted that she was in love with this guy. And every time she stayed with her friend, they had fun again. So all the girls I've ever dated cheated on me, and that was the worst case. I don't want to be cheated on again. And stay with women like that. We were walking along the road, and my friend told me about someone who had always treacherously deceived me. I was shocked by his words, because I thought she was my real soulmate. One night she called me back while intoxicated and asked me to pick her up from the bar where she was hanging out with her friend. I almost carried her in my arms all the way from the parking lot to her dorm. I even had to hold her by the hair when she threw up again. As soon as I put her on the bed, she insultingly said she didn't need my care. I replied, "Okay, it's clear what you want, just go to sleep." She fell asleep, and then fell off the bed onto the floor. But I never noticed that I put her back on the bed. I spent that night feeling terribly disappointed. I realized that she was definitely cheating on me after realizing that I was taking all her lying Snapchats from some other guy that she never mentioned. I decided to check her phone and found a picture of this shirtless guy with the caption, "I was great." In the evening she came home happy and kissed, and when she woke up, I just looked at her and asked how her night was. She replied, "Oh, there was nothing like that. My ex-husband cheated on me after losing our child. I went for a 12-week ultrasound and found out that the baby's heart stopped beating after about 8 weeks of pregnancy. I soon found out about his affair. He said he didn't enjoy being with me enough after losing the baby because I was too sad. My first boyfriend cheated on me with my best friend. They slept together when he forgot to pick me up after work. According to the terms, I bought him a car, and he was supposed to pick me up at 7 p.m. A year passed, and he suspected that I was going to cheat on him with my best friend. Afterwards, I stupidly forgave him, but he continued to cheat on me many times. I realized that it's better to be alone than to stay in such a relationship, even if it means staying alone forever. I was staying at my sister's for the night and once, sitting on the couch, I woke up to someone trying to run into me. I woke up and started pushing him away. He tried to convince me that we had to sleep together, and I was very angry with him. My sister came out of the room and asked what was going on, and I told her everything. At first, this stupid guy tried to explain to her that I was lying, but my sister told him that he was an idiot. What a terrible experience. It made me end up on the street. You know that when someone is not monogamous, something terrible happens. I had an ex-fiancé and he made a lot of mean comments about dating me and my roommate. I felt very uncomfortable, but the idea of leaving him was impossible because we still had 6 months left before they got engaged. Finally, in September, I called him and ended our relationship in 30 seconds. My ex-fiancé told me that I was too good for him, and so he decided to ruin everything.